feel like there's something going on with the collective unconscious that's making it so that everything feels so repetitive.
100% agree. Go watch the whole video that she made because she lays out some really good points. We are living in a facsimile of a facsimile. Nothing is real. Everything is coming back to the symbolic, to the archetypal, to the myth. Everything goes around full circle. We're living through the end of an ion. The book that she's talking about, Simulacrum, I think it's called, is what The Matrix was built off. He's not really my wheelhouse because I found it really hard to get into that book, really hard to get into the theory, so I used a lot of synopsis to get a brief understanding of what that book is about. Now Jung, completely different story. That is my hyperfixation of the last probably about 6 years or so. One of the biggest things that I've been noticing over the last probably about 4 years is what I call micro niches. I've been in the fitness industry for a long time, and people would gravitate towards certain things, diet types, training philosophies, and you could park yourself there and be comfortable knowing that you have a rough approximation that's going to get you results. However, now in the fitness industry, we have so many micro niches of people becoming absolute experts in all the minutiae for no fucking reason, because all of the things still work for everyone else. When you're, say for a bodybuilder, you're trying to get on stage, get down to 3% body fat sort of thing, you need to dot I's, cross T's, and make sure that your punctuation and grammar is perfect, because otherwise you're going to miss the mark and you're going to be really not stage ready. I did terribly as a bodybuilder, could not get down there. Now with dotting those I's, crossing those T's, you need to worry about all the 1%ers, and that's what the micro niches have become about. Everything in the fitness industry is now geared towards creating a micro niche within a micro niche, which is a micro niche of fitness. So you go high abstraction, fitness. Fitness means essentially not sedentary. That's weird. Then you go into, I want to be a bodybuilder. So in between those stages, it's like, well, I want to put on muscle. And then you see someone who does bodybuilding and you go, oh, well, I want to do bodybuilding now. And you niche down again. To get down into those low levels of body fat, you need to do so many damn things, so many inputs and outputs to make sure that you can get down to those levels, which creates little niches inside of themselves again. In order to get on a bodybuilding stage, you need to make sure that everything is flawlessly executed. So you have to become an expert in micro niches. Talking the language of those things means that you're not talking English to anyone else because it's so finely niched. Now, because of the micro niching, getting down into the details, into the minutiae, it's creating a hell of a lot more ideological groupthink, because there's certain camps that you fall into or fall out of or go against one another. So it's creating groupthink in these micro niches that there's no substance. It's just arguing semantics for the sake of arguing semantics. Because of the groupthink, no one can think for themselves. No one has the ability to have critical thinking because it's so fucking niched. It's so high resolution. It requires a specific linguistic set for you to understand the territory, and it's not real life. It's a very, very small fraction of life. Now, getting back to Jung. Jung was an individualist. He very much believed that, yes, there is a collective unconscious that we project into and we collect information from archetypes, myths, stories, so on and so forth. What he was alluding to as a map of all of his works was the path to enlightenment, the path of worthwhile personal development, psychological, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all the developments, is individuation. It's where you collapse all opposites and you understand that everything has to be integrated into the self. The self is the center point of you. It is the axis mundi. It is the thing that connects heaven and hell together. He's got a great quote that's symbolic to this. No tree, it is said, can reach to heaven if its roots don't reach to hell. He also has another quote that says, until you make the unconscious conscious, you will call it fate and it will rule your life. The idea with Jung's philosophy is it's a map for individuation, to become an individual. Now, moving over to another model, another map is, I can't remember what his name is, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the very tippy top of that is self-actualization, which is very similar to individuation. It's more of a pursuit. It's like, this is my purpose and meaning and impact and these sorts of things. When you become an individual, you can self-actualize, you can become who you're meant to become. Your soul has a unique blueprint for you to go out and to collapse opposites and to become who you're meant to become. Following into these micro niches creates more and more groupthink. Groupthink is lower human thinking. Groupthink creates an energy of its own. If you look into the occult, things like the egregore, go look at that for yourself. I'm not going to describe what it is. But basically, it feeds from us and we feed from it. So if you want to become an individual, if you want to live a real life, you need to look within. If you look externally and you start projecting, as our unconscious does, you will become a part of these micro niches that will create only facsimiles of a fake reality that you're not meant to live through. You are meant to become an individual. And then as an individual that is individuated, that has collapsed opposites, that has worked through their trauma, gone through all of their shadow and unconscious and archetypes and all the rest of the things, and has figured out what your unique expression is, what your unique North Star is, then you have true purpose, meaning, and impact in this world. Then you can go out into the collective and you can serve, because as a individual collapses opposites inside of themselves, they figure out what their North Star is actually meant to be. They know who they are, how they're meant to be. And this is coming from me, a autistic ADHD motherfucker who has been on this hyperfixation, healing, personal development, psychology, breathwork, blah, 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 blah thing for the better part of 10, probably more years now. And I have gotten to a place where I'm not individuated, but I'm individuating. I'm on that path. And I have so much peace, so much purpose, so much meaning in my life and understanding and clarity and all these beautiful adjectives, all because I followed Jung. We should be following Jung. We shouldn't be following people like Freud or any of the other bullshit models that are out there. It's good. It's the start. We need to go much, much deeper, because we're about to go through the end of an ion, which means that we're about to go through the snake eating its own tail, the Ouroboros, the cycle of death, birth, and rebirth. Birth, death, rebirth, that one. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Much love and enjoy.